Welcome to Scale Her Up, the Female Entrepreneurs Show with me, Brenda Hector. I'm a business growth specialist helping business owners to develop themselves and grow their businesses so that they can achieve their goals and enjoy the lifestyle they dream of. I'm on a mission to revolutionise the entrepreneurial landscape for women in business. In every podcast episode, I interview someone who has an inspiring story or some great advice for women aiming to start or scale their businesses. If you're new to the show, take a moment to subscribe right now so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And please check out the previous ones. There's over 100 now after you've finished listening to this one. We've got an awesome Facebook community as well. Just search for Scale Her Up and join in. And today I'm so pleased I've got my lovely networking colleague and friend, Suze Bird from Bird and Emmy with me today. Suze, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Brenda. I'm actually so excited we're having this conversation.
Oh, it's really good to get people that I know on here and we can just have a good chat. First off, Bird and Emmy. What is Bird and Emmy? What do you do?
$1 million question. Job title would be social media strategist, and I work with businesses throughout the UK. Hybrid, so mostly online or on site with clients, predominantly Aberdeen, Edinburgh, and Glasgow. And I work with businesses in one of three ways. So either as retainer, where I am their marketing person, if you like. The majority of that playtime, if you like, in the marketing world is digital marketing and social media. And I would be the one who's running the strategy for them. Another way businesses work with me is project work. So I will get messages around developing a social media strategy and then helping them implement that into their business. And those are 4 to 6 months projects, set them up, get them going and leave. And we kind of do one-to-one check-ins over a period of time. And the third way I work with businesses is training, one-to-one and workshops. And they're either public workshops where people can come on or businesses book one-to-one sessions. And we're just SOS style. They bring all the questions to the table in the kind of digital marketing, social media space.
Awesome. So there's a heap of questions in my head.
Yes.
What kind of businesses are you working with?
So predominantly, I work with small, medium businesses, startups, founders, independents are the kind of main chunk. Now and again, I'll be pulled in on project work. I'll get an inquiry from either agencies or bigger businesses that have quite robust in-house marketing teams, and they either need support with this, like a particular campaign or a particular launch or something that's audit is another one that a kind of big organization will reach out for. So as I say, this big robust team, they're running a strategy, they're running plans, and maybe they're 6 to 12 months into something that's just, they can't quite figure out why it's not engaging or growing or etc. So audits is a way I would work with large organizations, but retainer work and project work is small to medium enterprises, independents.
Okay. And any particular industry or?
No niche industry, no. I've worked in marketing for about 25 years now, and that's been a combination of agencies and in-house. So agency life is pretty much like a freelancer life, multiple clients, multiple industries, and it's your discipline, so in my case, marketing, that you bring into the table. Mm-hmm. So when I went freelance, I kept that up. So I'll work with multiple industries. I have my favorites, of course, but multiple industries.
What's your favorite industry to work with then?
Oh, set myself up for that one, didn't I? Probably, I enjoy the food and drink for very obvious reasons. Mostly I enjoy my food and drink. So they're probably one of my favorite industries, not discounting the other ones, obviously. Mom doesn't have a favorite. But particularly in the food and drink industry in Scotland, they're quite independent, which there's a bit of a creativity and small budget, big ideas quite mentality, which can make for some really cool creative campaigns in the digital space. So it's maybe more a thing I enjoy than an industry, the more I talk about it.
Okay, good. No, that's nice. Good to know. So now I want to talk about social media because audience are female business owners and people thinking of starting their business. And actually marketing and social media can be a bit of a scary place to have to go because it's 2025. If you're not doing some sort of digital marketing, then you're not marketing at all.
No.
a lot of the time. Yeah. What are the things that people need to think about when they're starting up and a bit scared of it?
I think some of it is the mindset piece, just like you said there. It is 2025. It's no longer a case of, oh, I do marketing and now I need social media. Your social media is part of the marketing toolkit. Let's just get our heads around the fact they're one conversation. You have a business, you need to market your business. You need to be where the people are. Almost broke into Disney song there. You need to be where the people are, and they are on social media. We all have this amusing love-hate relationship with social media where we probably all actively hate it and all use it every single day. So business owners can't avoid that. So a mindset shift is something I would encourage first. Like, it's happening, so let's just dispel all the negative energy around it and get on it, right? The next thing I would absolutely recommend is get really familiar with your strategy, as in your marketing strategy, because you need to understand your target audience so that you can understand where they play, so to speak. So, once you've got your target audience sussed, you'll know whether you need to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and you'll understand where you need to spend your time. Once you've made those decisions, you can then start understanding how the platforms work in terms of what you want from them. So you won't be surprised to hear I don't advocate viral moments or big followers or high numbers. If you understand your business strategy, you can then create your marketing strategy, understand your target audience, understand what you need from them. You'll start to understand what you need from social media. And once I say start to understand, we're never going to fully get there. But once you understand that, it's a different mindset you go in with. You don't have this kind of, I need to be every day, I need to create every day, and you don't put this urgency on it. You very much understand who you're talking to, what you want them to do, and it becomes easier to start getting that sales circle going. So those would be the first things I'd recommend.
Brilliant. Great tips. And I will add in there, if you're really scared of it, speak to a professional.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of conversations I have where people are like, oh my God, social is really hard. And I'm like, okay, but it's a job, right? A marketer, social media marketing, this is a job. So, I don't come into your workspace and go, teach me how to do yours and I'll totally nail it. So it's understanding that business owners can absolutely do certain bits themselves and then get support where you need it. Now, that could be a one-to-one, it could be a workshop, it could be free training. There's loads of options, right? And then as the business owner, it's your responsibility to implement that too.
Brilliant. Let's talk about how you got started in business then, Suze. Why did you launch your own business?
It was a fun time, Brenda. I was working in an agency at the time. I was digital marketing account manager, and I was not long back into full-time work, actually. My daughter had not long started school, and a contact I'd had from previous industry work had reached out and they're building this digital marketing department. This was about 12 years ago. At the time, Twitter was still number one, and was recruited into this role as digital account manager. And a year into that, they made cuts in the departments, and myself and somebody else was made redundant from the digital marketing team. And around this time, my daughter's dad and I were separating. So it got a little interesting. And before the redundancy piece, I was doing volunteer work with a local community event. They'd reached out looking for something they were trying to bring into the community and looking for support. And I'd said, look, I can help with marketing. And I'd set up, again, Facebook was bigger back then. I'd set up the Facebook page and their mail subscriber list and ran some of their marketing for them. So doing that as a volunteer piece, made redundant, separated, and some of the sponsors, bigger corporate sponsors at the community event had reached out and said, look, I see what you're doing there. What is your business and can you do this? And I had that, we're moving house and things like that. And I thought, okay, yeah, let me see what this looks like. For a year or two, I'd been thinking, I think I could do this solo. I could do this freelance thing. And obviously life gets in the way then. And I thought, you know what, this is not the right time. But I think I kind of discovered that you can't really plan for these things sometimes. So no, it absolutely wasn't the right time and it happened. So I picked up some clients through that event and the work I've done there. They go in touch and got a client from that. And about 6 months into it, they'd referred me on and somebody else came on. So it took about a year for me to really go, okay, I'm running the business now. And then go, how do I run a business? And then do that bit we spoke about of reaching out to experts and going, okay, let me see if I can make this a wee bit easier for myself so I can actually run this business and do the creative work that I enjoy. And that was, got 20, next year will be 10 years.
Congratulations. Not many
Thank
businesses
you.
get to 10 years.
No. Yeah, I am
So,
chuffed.
what have been the challenges over those 10 years then? What have been the tough times?
There have been many, and the thinking is more, how would I categorize them? There's the obvious ones where you're starting a business, particularly a freelance business. Commercially, it takes a while till it turns a profit. So that requires a little bit of juggling.
Cash flow's a challenge, yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit of organization there. And time and creativity were challenges as well, because my daughter would have been 6 when I started the business. So obviously at school, single parenting. So juggling the work I wanted to do, could do, the business and home life. So she came along for the ride quite often. She was quite a good teammate back then. So it was, some of it was time, some of it's mindset as well, realizing that I run this business, I'm freelance, I work with clients. It's not a 9 to 5. And what does that actually look like? So there was a little bit of that. Then there's that bit that I probably speak about more nowadays than I realized 10 years ago or so, is I am quite career driven. So finding time and fitting in what I want to do career wise and business wise with home life, it's always a bit tricky, right? It's a struggle, I think, for a lot of us. I don't think it's just me. Please, listeners, don't leave me hanging. But yeah, I would get contacted for projects sometimes, and I think, God, yeah, I could totally do that. It's really fun. And then thinking, yeah, okay, it's maybe Glasgow for 3 weeks at a time. Yeah, that's not going to work at all. Balancing things like that are difficult. And the other thing that still catches me out sometimes is how sometimes businesses, I think, naturally evolve without you realizing. You have all these great plans and strategies and it's all filed away and it's all great. And you're like, cool, we're doing that. And then there's a natural evolution. Either it's industry or something changes in the social media algorithm that shifts in a project or something like out of your control piece, where you then, it's not so much a pivot, it's definitely an evolution. And then having you get a head around, okay, the strategy needs to change. So, yeah, pieces like that come up over the years. And I definitely think they don't come up, they get resolved and move. They can be secular, some of these challenges.
So you have to be flexible. Is that what you're saying?
You have to be flexible. You have to be resilient, comes to mind. Maybe overused, but definitely true. And you have to be optimistic, a little bit of positivity, because, that voice in your head can get loud sometimes. And you forget that it feeds, right? And then it starts sipping into kind of every piece of your life.
I think it's lonely being in business on your own. And when that voice in your head is talking to you, and actually there's only you and that voice, what do you do to shut it up?
I guess there's 2 parts. There's a bit that I actively do. I make sure I keep kind of testimonials, or I make sure that at the end of every project or a one-to-one working experience, I have a feedback form that encourages the good and the bad. So it's not just to say nice things about me, please. It's where can I grow? What can I learn? Well, what do you think that could have been different? So I keep all those, which is quite nice. And then that's the active piece where you go looking for that. But I also get surprised by my community. So I think for the last 10 years or so, I've worked quite hard at certainly my online community. So that would be both my LinkedIn and my Instagram. And it's the DMs piece. So it's the behind the scenes stuff that's not obvious seen. But I've built up quite a strong community, and it does surprise me. Even if I'm having the, right, okay, what is actually going on? What are you building moment? I'll generally get a message, or I'll get an email of somebody that I crossed paths with 5 years ago or so, and be like, hey, I've got this digital marketing project. We're trying to move to some social platforms. Your name came up. Can we have a conversation? And it's little moments like that where I think, oh, you're fine. Come on, go get a cup of coffee. You've got this. You're okay.
The outside world see you as an expert and somebody that can help them.
Yeah. And because we focused a lot, this Brenda, on our, as business owners, we're on the outreach. I need sales, I need to do. And we forget that actually just slowly, quietly, meticulously, steadily building that community, showing up, delivering, it comes back to serve you when you least expect it. And I have found that consistently over the last 10 years that I am constantly surprised.
Thanks. being open and seeing it and
and be willing to have those conversations. As you say, it can be lonely. So it's recognizing. I have this in my head. I picture sifting through. What is it? Is it right? Okay, single parenting is that? But no, that's okay. We're under control. Household commercials were fine. I hold up these little E44. Is it your hormones? So check in. What could it be? And I sift through, and then I think, okay, all of that stuff's manageable. What's niggling? It's something with work. Who can I talk to? And there is that community of co-mentors, I would call, where I would reach out, go for a coffee date, or take myself off to the art gallery, or just change my environment for an hour or two and just clear your head and examine what's really going on and then find a way out. So
I was talking to some action coaches last week about what we do when you're getting in your own way.
Yeah.
And one of them said, "Oh, it's not unheard of that I'll drop and do 20 press ups." Like, I won't be dropping to do 20 press ups, but I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Get up, walk around, go and get out of the environment where you're feeling a bit stuck. Yeah.
Yes. No, it's same. I won't be doing any press ups or any kind of version of that. But the theory being change your environment, change what you're doing. Or if you're looking at a document, you're just like, I don't know where to start. I can't. I'm blank. I'm wasting my time here. Shut it down and leave. I'll often go to a coffee shop or just change your environment. Instead of the home office, I come downstairs, or any version of that I find really helpful because, we get in our own way more than we realize.
So tell me, Suze, who's been your biggest supporter over the last 10 years?
Oh, gosh, I am very lucky to have an amazing circle of friends and family, and my daughter. They are very active cheerleaders, even if they don't get acknowledged as much as they need to.
Oh, let's shout out to them now.
Shout out to the crew. Yeah, I do have a solid group of girlfriends in Aberdeen. So they've always been very supportive of the business, even though it's, wait, what is it you're actually doing social media, Suze? And I am lucky for that. And it does make a difference because it is isolating running your own business. So they make a big difference. And then slowly over the years, I've moved out of my home, if you like, and tried to find communities and spend time in those communities. Now, not often, sometimes workload or sometimes just headspace or anything like that. So I'm maybe not as regular as networking as the events happen monthly, but I recognize what I get from the events, particularly BWC Aberdeen. I've been there now, let's see, almost coming up for 2 years. And absolutely love that environment. I do make an effort to go to, I'm going to say as many as I can. And I go myself, which sometimes people find really weird when I go to new ones myself. But I think getting people's schedules to tie up so you always have a buddy doesn't work. So I just had you know what, I'm just going to go. And if it's awful, I won't go back. Like, nothing bad will happen. So I go myself. And then if I enjoy the conversations, enjoy the environment, I make sure I connect with the people that something cool is sparked, and I make sure I arrange coffee dates afterwards with them. So it's not a case of just I go in and I leave and I don't talk to one. Even if I just talk to one person, connect with them on LinkedIn and go, oh, that was really cool. Fancy a coffee date. So I try and do things like that off the back of it too. I think you need a strong sense of self-awareness when you're in women in business, because you need to understand what fuels you and what doesn't.
Yes.
And then recognizing, putting yourself in a community like that, what you get from it, and then how to nourish it and grow it so that it stays. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking that I go to networking things. I'll quite happily rock up on my own to a new networking thing. But actually, if anybody's listening going, oh, that sounds like absolute hell, then do find a buddy.
Obviously we all want to go with somebody. Nobody wants to walk in a room alone, right? This is not easy for any of us, but it's also a case of if I don't go alone, I don't go at all, and then I'm stuck in the same cycle. So what's the worst that can happen? I have that as my base. What's the worst that can happen? And generally, it's nothing hugely horrific.
No. And just stretching out your comfort zone is where you grow.
It's not bad, right? It's recognizing what's a comfort zone piece, what's an actual fear, and then what do you need to work through and what do you not?
Yeah. But I think networking is really powerful, actually.
So powerful. Yeah. I'm not even talking big groups or big, like just put yourself in a group of like-minded people or like industry people or anything. Just put yourself in an environment and kind of examine how it feels. practices. So generally nothing bad's going to happen, and one good thing will happen. I can probably
And
promise
it's
that.
not necessarily about meeting people who are going to buy from you.
No.
It's about building your confidence and having people to ask questions to when you're struggling with something, because you don't have a boss, so who would you ask?
No.
Yeah.
And it's 100% that. It's not, I think sometimes it's people, if the obvious sale is not there, they maybe don't pursue. But that bit about constantly being surprised in business, like where my work comes from constantly surprises me. And what they're seeing and doing are completely different things. So somebody's maybe watching you, and I don't mean in a kind of creepy, stalky way, for maybe years before they reach out and make a purchase. And we can be quick to dismiss it, well, there's no work there. Work doesn't come like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So same as you, I would encourage anyone to try a bit of solo networking.
Definitely. And come along to it, you see, in Aberdeen.
Yeah. It's actually,
I mean, there, so you won't. Yeah.
We're maybe biased because that's where we met. But also, I always say to people, if I'm staying at ski, that's because I've been solo and nothing bad happened. And if I'm back again, there's obviously good vibes about it. And there is a generally good vibe about that. I don't know, nobody is scary. And if you're standing alone, you're never left alone. The ambassadors or regulars like you, there's always someone to go, come over here, sit here. Or, hey, how are you? So good.
Yeah.
The tribes are out there.
So do you think that you were always destined to be a business owner?
If you ask my mom, she'd probably say yes. I wouldn't, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I would say that I have always been ambitious from about 15, 16. My plan then was to get my degree, wanted to study English, wanted to become a writer, and I was going to move to New York and write for Vogue. This is like, we're talking, and I was in Cape Town at the time, that's where I was born. We're talking mid-90s, right? So the height of the supermodel era. And Vogue used to run this competition where you could write in and then you'd win an internship and move to New York. So this was my teenage Sue's dream. So I got that in my head and I was like, I'm going to finish school, going to go to uni, and then I'm going to move. So did that, school, uni, studied communications and English, got my degree. And then at the time, my older brother lived in Scotland. And I thought, I'll go move in with him for a couple of months, just settle in and then go further, which I did, Brenda. But that was 2003. And I've never actually left Aberdeen. So we're basically on the longest gap year in the entire world. But I think I started working in industry pretty much straight away, my first job out of uni. And then I got that, I'm loving this. And it was marketing events back then. So we're talking 20 odd years ago. Marketing roles were all encompassing. And I absolutely loved what I did, even back then. I still do now. And quickly moved from that first job. I took a receptionist job to get into this company. I then started volunteering in the events department to grow my CV. And I was then recruited into the Chamber of Commerce and really just absolutely loved my career. And I think every 2 or so years I would get this, all right, cool, what's next? Where are we going from here? Where are we going from here? So I was always quite driven like that and quite, I could see that, or I could see this opportunity, I could see this idea, and that continued even around late 20s when I was like, I'm going to have a baby now. So that decision was made and my daughter came along. And then when she was around 2, blogging was big. And as I say, Twitter and things like that. So I created a website and I started writing these blogs and I started spending time on Twitter, like exploring what that whole world looks like. And so you write a blog and then it goes on Twitter and then you have these conversations and started patching all that together and then moved back into industry, as I say, in the agency. So it was maybe underlying that working for myself was maybe there. But as I say, I don't think I actually recognized it as here's your next step, because it was always one of those, it's not the right time. Let me see this through, or let me get more under my belt, or let me do. And then life decided that it was the right time and I just had to do it.
So everything aligned at that point.
It was just, okay, you're really overthinking this, Suze. And I guess that's maybe something I've recognized, that more in business I am, that you can't always plan for the right time. You can put stuff in place that look after it, if you like, but sometimes it's just push that button.
Some people might say it's luck, being in the right place at the right time for the right opportunity. I think luck is when preparedness meets opportunity.
Yeah, I certainly don't always feel lucky. I feel fortunate and grateful to be living the life I love, but I think it was more. I don't think you realize. I bet that thing a bit when people come in to my inbox with inquiries that I maybe haven't seen or spoken to for 5 or 6 years. It's a bit like that. I don't think there's luck involved in something like that. I think I've created an environment that's stuck, if you like, and good stuff comes from that. I'm a firm believer what you put out in the world comes back to you. So I try and create a space that encourages good things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you could go back, Suze, and give advice to 18-year-old you who's looking for a job at Vogue, what would you say to her?
I think would meet her. She would sound like that girl. She worked hard and played hard, let's say. I think I'd probably fast forward more to the late 20s girl, early 30s, which is arguably just as long ago. Just a reminder that it's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. This is not going to last. It's good. There's good stuff in there. The bit about we spoke about how do you get out of your own way, find a way to get out of your own way because it's going to be okay. So a little bit of that. And the trust your gut piece. I think we actually all know the answers and it comes out in us in different ways, right? So for me, it sits right in my belly and you get that something's either not just quite right or something is right. And we tend to try and fight against it, or we pick up a phone and talk to somebody and we want someone else to tell us something.
External validation, yeah.
And we're looking, but it's never quite right. And we're frustrated. And then we're getting into this, oh, for God's sake, kind of situation where really, like, trust your gut, I was there. And that's a work in progress. We never nail that 100%. But I think the more we go on, the more we realize, oh, yeah, that was that. So I would pass that on. You'll be okay. You'll get through and trust your gut more than you think you do.
Brilliant message. But all of us, actually, at whatever age. Yeah.
Probably it's the same can be said for social media too. We overthink our posting and really, like, we strip it all back. We know.
Yeah, that's a good message as well. Yeah. So what's in the future for Bird and Emmy then? What's the big ambition?
So yesterday I had a co-mentoring breakfast session with Nicola Davison from Success Formula. And she'd asked the same thing. And I had that, oh my God, I don't know. I was taking a Christmas break and then we'll see what comes. But I think the cool thing post-COVID, like proper post-COVID now, is community and events have come back in a really positive way. We went very online and then very mixed. And then the real life world is very tangible at the moment. So some of the 2026 things are exploring a bit more of that. I brought back my social media for business workshop in July of this year. And that was the first in-person one I'd done for about 5 years. So that one sold out and had some really good kind of one-to-ones and project work come off the back of that and really good conversations with business owners. So one of the other reasons I like to put myself in the kind of real world, if you like, is to have the conversation, like what are the challenges or what are people struggling with? Because I find that really inspiring in terms of where my business, the project side of it, needs to evolve. So workshops and one-to-one sessions are very much in the 2026 cards. How can I support business owners where there isn't the retainer budget, but they are running most areas of the business themselves? And how can I make their marketing, social media, the whole blog newsletter cycle, how can I make that easier for them that they can actually get results from the time they put in and not just put all the time and get nothing and hate it and leave? So 2026 plans are putting that into some kind of products that can support business owners.
Fabulous. So keep me informed of what that looks like. I'm sure lots of the listeners and lots of people in my network would benefit from that. So yeah, keep us posted.
I will do.
So actually,
I'll
if you can send me the correct links for your socials, I'll put them in the show notes so people can follow you and
Yeah,
see what you're
absolutely.
doing and follow
Yeah,
it.
no, that's the
Give
best
an
way. I
example.
tend to, like I said, I put a lot of time into nurturing my online community. And so the majority of the things I put out like that, I would announce on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I would do I do the messy imperfection bits. I just go, look, I'm thinking about this. It's probably going to be at this date. Let me know if you want in. People then DM, and I pretty much build up. So by the time it goes live, the last one, there were 8 slots out of 12 gone before it went public. And that as a message too, because I don't run an emailing list, not for any other reason that it's putting where my time, where I get the most return from. And for me, that is my social media. I use that as a starting gate in the workshops too, that if you really know your audience and what they need and how they purchase, where to put your time, which is really helpful for a business owner.
Yeah. Suze, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show. And
I've liked our chats. It's probably one of those cool networking stories where we run into each other on quite a few events, and it's been really good to actually have a proper conversation.
yeah, no, it's been great. Thank you very much for sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to you for listening to Scale Her Up, the Female Entrepreneurs Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and join the Facebook community at Scale Her Up. Connect with me, I'm Dr. Brenda Hector, business coach, on social media, and drop me a message to let me know that you're enjoying the podcast or pop a review somewhere. I'll finish by reminding you that only 1 in 3 UK entrepreneurs are female, and men are 5 times more likely to scale their business to over £1 million in turnover than women are. When we start and scale our businesses to the same extent as men, it will add 250 billion to the UK economy and provide millions of jobs. So ladies, you can do it and make a massive difference.